So, hi, everyone. Welcome to Grief and Rebirth podcast. Oh, I see Brett. This is wonderful. I see some wonderful, friendly faces here. I am your host, Irene Weinberg, and what a pleasure to be introducing author, intuitive medium, and conscious creator Shelly Wilson to all of you tonight. Shelly is passionate about helping people wake up to their greatness. So make sure you highlight January 19th in your date books, because that is when Shelly's very inspiring and wisdom-filled interview with me is going to be released on social media and featured in your inboxes. Consider tonight's event with Shelly your delicious appetizer before her very yummy interview. By the way, we are streaming live on Facebook as well, but we'll only be seeing your questions live here on Zoom. So if you would like to join us on Zoom, please do so. The link is for you guys on Facebook. So you can transfer right over to us on Zoom if you are going to have questions, because we won't see your questions if you post them on Facebook. Shelly and I are going to begin tonight's event with a brief chat about how she utilizes all of her psychic abilities, including claircognizance, clairsentience, clairvoyance, and clairaudience, to offer the opportunity to connect with loved ones in spirit, as well as receive guidance regarding current life situations. And we will also discuss the spiritual difference between a person being awake or asleep. Then Shelly will begin to communicate with as many of your deceased loved ones as time will allow. Now, Shelly is also very psychic, and she does psychic readings also. So the bulk of this event is going to be geared towards communicating with your deceased loved ones. But if you guys have a question about your personal lives or something that you would like Shelly to answer if she has the time, please leave that for her in the chat portion of this Zoom. And I also want to acknowledge Lauren, our techie guru, and Stephanie are both going to be here to respond to issues in chat or questions in chat. And we're hoping there'll be time towards the end of this event for Shelly to answer a few of your questions about your lives. So let's go for it, Shelly. You want to tell everyone how you get these messages, talk about your psychic abilities?
Yes, absolutely. So first of all, to clarify the difference between a psychic or intuitive reading and mediumship is psychic intuitive means connecting to you, connecting to your energy. Now, psychic means of the soul, and intuitive is all about following your intuition, and they're very similar. But as we know, sometimes there's a connotation with that word psychic. Now, I'm not a fortune teller, so this is one of those things where I want to empower you and help you make the decisions that are right for you. As a medium, I connect to those that are in spirit, on the other side, in heaven, whatever term resonates with you personally. And so that entails connecting with their energy, and the information comes through for me as thoughts and feelings and impressions. And I get what I get as it comes through. Now, it still runs through my filter, my frame of reference, but I do my best to just give it as I receive it rather than trying to interpret it for myself.
And you use claircognizance, clairsentience, clairvoyance, and clairaudience.
Yes, yes, all of the above.
All of the above. So one is through hearing, one is through knowing, another is through seeing, and did I leave one out?
The feeling.
Yes, the feeling, right. Yeah. So that's how you get all these messages. And Absolutely. How about let's talk about, which was such a juicy conversation we've had, the difference between being awake or asleep.
Yes. So when we think of those terms, definitely, and we say them very lovingly. And the thing is, as humans, of course, we have our five senses, and we are here on Earth, walking the Earth plane, and we receive information and perceive information through those senses. We also can think of being more tuned in, more conscious more aware. And that's what being awake means. So when we have a catalyst in our life, and sometimes that is someone close to us that has transitioned, or sometimes it's a health challenge, or it could be something else as well. Many times it may be an aha moment for us to become more awake. And once again, being asleep is just a term we lovingly use, meaning perhaps you may have not had that wake up moment, or you're not tuning in as much as you could be.
Okay. So, and I'm sure a lot of us know people who we wish were a little more awake. And hopefully their time will come. So, Shelly, would you like to start I'll bet you have deceased loved ones all around you already.
Yes, yes. And so what I want to do, first of all, I work many different ways. When I do messages from spirit events like this, I like to let people know, because sometimes people do want to connect to those in spirit, but sometimes people just have a question even about their own life, a situation to look at. I also read energy, and that's what I want to do first. I want to build the energy, starting with reading some of you that would just like to know what I'm picking up on an energetic level. And what I'm tuning into are those energy centers known as chakras. So around us, we have that auric field. Within us, we have the energy centers. There are 7 main ones. They look like water going down a drain or spinning wheels of light. There are 7 main ones, and each one's connected to organs and emotions. Because I am clairsentient, also known as being a feeler, or being sensitive to energies, I'm going to be able to tune in. And even though you're in your respective locations, I'll still be able to feel your energy. So if there's anyone, and I think that there's a chat feature where you can use a raise your hand, or you can literally just raise your hand, and then you can unmute so that I can interact with you. Does that sound good?
Do you
And
all
we'll
know
do
how to
this
do that?
just a few people. Yes. Okay, so see, I
Okay.
have 2 people. So let's look first here at Katie. And Katie, if you would go ahead and unmute for a moment. And I think Katie's driving. So let's go over here to Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn, are you ready where you can unmute for me? And is this something they have to do, or something we have to do for them?
Lauren,
Yep.
could they do it for themselves?
Yep, I'm getting it. You said Gwendolyn?
Yeah. Unless Katie's ready now. I
Well,
think Katie might be in the car. There's a chat here. It says you've muted us, so there's going to have to be where we unmute them. Unless we just want to focus on the chat feature, and I can just tune in and we'll get a nod of the head. Do we want to do that? Okay,
yeah.
Let's try that first instead of pausing. So Gwendolyn, may I come to you and read your energy? Yes, thank you. Okay, so I would like you just to take a big deep breath for me. Relax, breathe in deeply, letting go of anything you have no control of, which is pretty much everything, and come back to now. Now, as I'm tuning into your energy, I feel a lot moving in your heart chakra. There's a lot of emotions that you're holding on to. I get something too about you needing to feel more balanced or more centered. I feel a lot in your belly area, which is that solar plexus area. So think of that as being your battery, your fuel tank. Spirit's reminding you, you give so much of yourself, and how essential it is for you to fill your own tank or allow it to be filled. But I just get a sense as I tune into you, Gwendolyn, definitely the need to pause, to feel, even maybe bring your hand to your heart and connect more deeply to that. There's something too about listening more to what your heart's saying to you as well. Does that make sense to you? Yes, okay. I'm being guided too. I want to go ahead and pull you a card. I've created a couple of decks of oracle cards, and I'm just reaching over here, quietly shuffling, and Spirit is saying to you, embrace well-being, take time for you. So once again, going along the lines of connecting more deeply to yourself, connecting to your heart and to your spirit, that is very essential, okay? So just breathe again for me. Come back to now. And so it is. Okay, let's come up here now to Carol. May I come to you now, Carol? Thank you. Okay, just take a big deep breath for me. Relax in this moment and just allow yourself to breathe. Now, as I'm feeling into your energy, first of all, I just feel a lot running through your mind. Now, of course, this can mean thoughts. This could be questions. This could be things weighing on your mind as well. As often as you can, what Spirit's just saying is remember to clear that. Clear your mind. Keep it simple. Pause. Breathe. There's some things that you're either over-analyzing or overthinking, and Spirit saying, just stop, Carol. You don't need to do that any longer, okay? When you allow space to receive as well, the clarity will come to you. So it's very important just to pause and breathe, and what you're seeking, you will receive. You know, we think of being inspired, we think of gaining clarity, and so on. So let's pull a message for you as well. And your message says, focus on love. Let love lead. So anytime you are feeling challenged, just imagine love energy surrounding you, that you are love, that you're breathing love, and that you're being love. And when you do that, it's just really essential to just flow with it, is what I'm hearing. Okay? Thank you. Okay. Daryl, may I come to you next, please? Just shake your head for me because I can't hear you. Okay. So Daryl, I can't read lips.
Lauren, can you help us get Daryl? Or does Daryl is on mute right now. I can see it. Daryl, is there a place that you can unmute yourself?
Okay. I think he's saying he's okay, maybe. His hand is up, but I want to keep going, want to get to another person here. So let's go ahead and come down here.
We can't hear him.
Yeah, I can't hear anyone. I just see mouth moving, but I can't hear him.
Is that from you, Lauren? Can we unmute Daryl?
Okay, I know this is a bit frustrating, so let's everyone just breathe for a moment. I know because I'm empathic, I feel your frustration. So let's all just pause and just breathe.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
Yay, good. Okay, good. Okay, so Daryl, what were you saying?
I was saying you have to unmute.
Got it.
But finally I was able to. I don't know.
Okay, perfect. So may I come to you and read your energy?
Absolutely.
Okay, big deep breath for me, relax, let go of anything you have no control of, especially things you can't control. And as I'm tuning in, I feel just a little bit of restriction here in your throat. And this is not a bad thing, Daryl, but what this is a call for you to communicate more. There's something about needing to be heard, expressing yourself, and maybe it was because of what we just experienced, but I feel this goes a little bit deeper, a little bit more. Also feeling a little bit in your root chakra, that low back area. So anything that is weighing you down, especially any concerns, any worries, any financial concerns as well, just take note of it, but don't allow yourself to feel heavy. With chakras, you can work with those respective chakras as well. So blue for throat chakra, red for root chakra, and meditate on those colors, visualize them in your mind, bring the colors into your space, wear clothes that color, and work with crystals. And that's going to help to, once again, clear, balance, and strengthen them. Okay? So big deep breath again for me. Does that make sense to you?
No. Except for right now. I was having trouble communicating, but generally I don't have trouble communicating.
Okay. There's something when I pick up, as I said, it was a light restriction, so it could be just about this experience, but does it make sense with the root chakra, just feeling a bit heavier way down?
No.
Okay, I'm feeling the energy. Maybe it's not yours, Daryl, but I want to recognize it. The message coming through for you from the cards of empowerment is abundance. You're in the flow. So this is that reminder about health, happiness, well-being, financial prosperity for you.
That
Okay.
resonates. That
Good.
resonates.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so let's just do one more energy read. Katie, are you ready for me to come to you since you were the first one I selected? Okay, just big deep breath for me. Relax, breathe in deeply, letting go of anything you have no control of, and come back to now. And as I'm feeling into your energy, I do feel more pronounced in the low back also with you. And once again, take note of anything that you're stressed about, worried about, anything that's weighing you down. There's a lot of energy moving up through the chakras. I can feel that also moving into the sacral, into the solar plexus. But there's something about being very grounded and rooted. And maybe that's how I want to describe it. But I also just get a sense of feeling a little heavy, even a little pressure. So maybe there's something physical that you're feeling as well. Work with red as you're guided to, once again, for that root chakra. And just remember that you're protected, that you're safe, that your foundation is strong. The message from the cards of empowerment is achieving the outcome you seek. So this is definitely that reminder that whatever you have been hoping for, Spirit saying it is coming, but it is very important not to stress or worry about it. Just trust and see that it's already flowing to you. Okay?
Thank you. Yes.
You're very welcome. Okay, so now let's move into doing a few psychic readings. And what this will entail, it will give you an opportunity to ask a specific question. And this may be something about anything. And once again, even though I'm just reading a few people, recognize that all of you have chose to gather this evening. Think of it as a divine appointment. Sonia Choquette likes to use that term. And that means we've gathered here. We have to trust that Spirit is providing the perfect message at the perfect time. And it can be a message for many of us, not just one. Okay. So is there anyone, and if you've got your hand raised and you want to change gears, you can either take that hand down. Also, I'm going to just open the chat and see if there's any questions posted here. Otherwise, we'll take a moment and see a few things in here. I see Susan Slavitsky, always welcome for a reading. Susan, do you have a specific question that you would like to look at, for me to look at? You'll need to unmute, or they'll need to
unmute her.
There we
Yep,
go.
here she is. Oh, here we go.
Hi.
There you go.
Hi, Susan. I think she's muted again.
Oh my, hold on.
Can you hear
There we
me?
go.
Okay. Hi. I would love to hear what your thoughts on are what I can do to better communicate with my son.
Okay, and so your son is in spirit, is that correct? Okay, so Susan, the first thing, I got chills all over. Now, what's important is, first of all, begin taking note of the sensations you feel, because even though he's no longer here in physical form, he's absolutely energy, and his energy will blend with your energy, and it will create sensations on your physical body. Sometimes it's tingling, buzzing, chills, and so on. What I'm hearing to express as well is literally, Mom, just listen, just listen. I get a sense that he has been talking to you, but that you're either doubting that it's really him. You know, it may not sound like his voice. You just may hear words in your mind. But he's giving me this sense of calmness and peace and reminding you to feel that so that you can feel him coming through. I'm also getting this sense of numbers being very powerful. So whether it's looking at the clock or a receipt or a license plate, there's something too almost about seeing the numbers flip or the numbers change, and you just being present in that moment and smiling and saying thank you. But my sense is your connection with him is already strong, but there's something too about either you're doubting it or you're just not quite sure. And my feeling is the more that you relax into it, the easier it will be for you.
Okay. Thanks so much.
You. Okay, and I just saw a chat post pop up here. So let me see what the question says.
You have a few of them, Shel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so Not quite sure how to pronounce your name, Guirlaine. Open to receive. What direction do you take in terms of my work in the world? How do I? So if you could unmute and then pronounce your name for me, I would appreciate that. Huh? How do you say your name? Hi.
Good evening. Hi. Thank you so much, Shelly.
You're
The
welcome.
name is Elaine.
Guirlaine? Beautiful. Good. Didn't want to try to put my spin on it. Guirlaine, beautiful. Now, what would you, do you have a specific question? I know you posted one now, but if you want to go ahead and ask it. I mean, she's muted
Oh,
again.
you muted again.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how we did that. Hold on.
Are you there? Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
What? Jolene, are you there?
yes.
Yes, I'm
Okay, good.
here.
Thank you. Okay.
The question really was, how do I best serve in the world? I'm feeling the call to move away from the career I've had for over 20 years, and just wondering anything from spirit in terms of what direction to move would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, well, the first thing I heard, you said, how best do I serve? And what I heard was with an open heart, with an open heart. And I know you're already doing that. And there's something too, because I just got full chills, top of my head, all the way down my body. And that's a sign from my guides and from spirit that that is truth and on target. There's something too, almost that you can choose anything, but what's important at this time is to choose what brings you joy, to choose what lights you up. And I just get a sense that you're oh my goodness, the word just evaded me. You can do anything. I'm going to put it in layman's terms. You can do anything. So you're very easily adaptable to whatever it may be. And my sense is it's just a matter of saying, spirit, heart, what shall I do? What is next? There's something too about not feeling that you have to choose, but almost allowing it to choose you. I get a sense that there's going to be some opportunities presented to you. And I'm hearing it very well, could be the next big thing or the dream that you've been waiting for. And my sense is coming back to what I heard initially is with an open heart, because when you are love, when you emit love, that is absolutely what will show up in your life. So as far as choosing something right now, Guirlaine, my sense is just tune in more, take note of the signs, and the answers will appear. I'm seeing almost kind of like, if we turn on the TV and there's headline news, breaking news, I almost get a sense that something will scroll either across the TV, a computer screen, your phone, something like that. It's going to be undeniable when you see it. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
So trust what you're sensing, trust what is showing up for you. And I just get this sense of peace about it all.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Thank you. Okay, I have Doris, if she wants to unmute.
Let me find her.
She says, I have something big coming up. I want to see if you can feel if this will go in my favor or not. Now,
Here's
getting Doris.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
There you go, Doris. Okay.
Thank you, Irene.
Yes.
Thank you,
Now,
Lauren.
is this something involving a case or some kind of legal matter?
Yes.
Okay, because I get a sense that people have been dragging their feet with it almost to get you to either give up or get discouraged. And my sense is it will go in your favor. But what is important at this time, Doris, is you've got to stay strong. You got to keep checking in with your energy and recognizing what type of energy you're infusing into this experience. Because if you're feeling frustrated, angry, and so on, that's an energy that you're bringing to that creation. but I feel very positive that it's going in your favor. Someone is still dragging their feet a bit, so I don't know if this will have closure in this year, because I'm getting a sense that there will be some type of delay or pushback. And so this, once again, is even where you're doing your best to be present and not get caught up in the time element.
Okay.
Yes, and just breathe with that, because I know sometimes we're just ready for things to be over, but sometimes we have to trust in that process once again. And things can move quicker, but what we want to recognize too, if we're very caught up in the time element once again, think of it as that feeling very rigid, or that it's very restricted when we do that. So we can inhibit the flow when that happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Shelly.
You're very welcome. Okay, so let's take one more question, and I want to then move in to bringing in some loved ones from spirit as well. Okay, so anyone else have a question they want to ask? I see Peggy's got her hand raised. Peggy, do you have a question that you want to ask me?
Let me find Peggy so I can unmute her. Lauren, did you find Peggy? Oh, I see her.
Yep,
Okay.
I got her.
Got her. Are you unmuted, Peggy?
Yep.
Can you speak?
Yes,
Okay.
Peggy
Good.
there. Peggy, can you hear?
I am. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome. Okay, so do you have a question I can look at?
Hi, Peggy.
Yes, my mother and I are looking to move north, south, east, west. Can you or maybe my father, who's on the other side, help
Give you
us
some help.
some
Okay.
direction? We're open. You know,
Okay, so first give me a geographic location so I can see in my mind where you're at currently.
we are currently in New Jersey.
In New Jersey. Okay, so you're willing to go down to Florida, or willing to go west, or go a little more southwest maybe in that direction? Or are you thinking just stay in New England area and move closer to one of those states or in the state?
I have a daughter in New York State, upstate New York, and my mother has property in Florida, but we've been advised to sell that. So I don't know. I don't know. We're just open. We'd like someplace safe to live where our
Right.
You know.
Somewhere that feels comfortable and not too far is what I need.
Tennessee, Virginia, New York State, upstate. I don't know.
Okay, so let me look at this. Now, there's something too. Are you currently in a bit of a suburb or even a rural area, or is that something that's calling out to you?
We are in a suburb, yes. And
Are you thinking about where you've got a little bit more space,
Yes.
where you don't have people next to you? Okay,
Yes.
because my sense right away, I just get this feeling that instead of like pinpointing a state or trying to get the particulars in that area, there's something to, and sometimes we can look at things online, look at Google Maps and so on, or sometimes we can get the old-fashioned map out and begin looking at some different areas. Now, have you ever worked with a pendulum or done dowsing, Peggy?
Yes.
Because I'm getting a strong sense to create some type of a grid and work with the pendulum to pinpoint where you would feel most relaxed. I'm getting something too about the grid lines. Different people feel affected in different ways. I get a sense that this may have been something that you've looked at before, or that your husband has looked at before also, but I'm just getting a sense about almost even taking is it a protractor? Is that what we call it, where it goes out? Yeah. Would he have done something technical or architectural or drawings or something like that?
Ed? I don't think so. No.
Okay.
But
I know people use protractors, but I'm just wondering if this is something that he would have used in his work, or something that, we know back in the day too, we use things like that more often than people do now also.
my grandfather would have used.
Okay, because I'm seeing, and maybe you can obtain one, not sure if they even still make them, but there is something about doing something with that. To locate the space. I'm getting a sense that whatever space you choose will be perfect for you, but I'm also just getting not a definitive answer in regards to go here, go there, because I feel that it's important for you to feel into it, but doing some dowsing, doing some grid work, or looking at ley lines, grid lines, something like that is going to be beneficial, because I get a sense it's important to stay away also from power lines for whatever reason. There's something really important about, as we know, can definitely affect us on an energetic level. Okay. You're very welcome. Okay, so let's move into bringing forth some loved ones. Now, while we were sitting here, I began having some spirits come through. I'm also going to see some of the things that you have requested. Now, when I work, I will typically allow whomever to come through, because they tend to be the ones that need to get a message across. But I will also go direct to people as well and literally say, who do you want to connect with? And I will see what I pick up from that. Now, the first spirit coming through, and I don't have a name to connect with this. Sometimes they give me names, but I'm seeing a woman that was born. She could see when she was born, but then she became blind, or her sight became impaired. And I get a sense that this could have been glaucoma. It could have even been an eye injury. But I'm getting a strong sense of this person wanting to come through. She's showing me that she lived probably till her 70s or so, maybe even early 80s, but giving me this sense that she was able to navigate. She's showing me with the darkened glasses. She's showing me needing to use the cane even. But this was someone that was very much wanting to come through and make her presence known. So if this resonates with anyone, you can put your hand up in regards to the little Zoom hand, or you can even put something in the chat as well. Okay.
It sounds like it's from Gerlene. She says, my great grandma Leah.
Okay. I got chills all over as I'm feeling this. Now, once again, when I get chills, to me, that's validation from spirit of being truth. So may I come to you once again, Gerlene? Yes. Okay. So as I'm feeling this energy, and could you see her in your mind as I was describing this? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I feel definitely that she's coming through prominently, primarily because of your quest also. And there's something very metaphorical to recognizing, that she had her sight inhibited, but she was still very much able to navigate what's next. Yes, she may have needed support and assistance and tools to help her, but she's just giving me this sense about being able to walk alone, being able to walk the path. And I just get this sense of love coming forth from her, and her wanting to make her presence known for you at this time. There's something important also for you allowing to feel the peace and the comfort with her presence. And as you're guided to even talk to her mind to mind, soul to soul, as you feel led to, and she will respond in kind. And there's something about you just taking note, once again, of whatever you sense within your being. And sometimes these could be memories coming in also. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Very welcome. Thank you for speaking up so that I can connect her to you. Okay. Okay, so I also have another female coming through, and this time she is showing me, and I feel like this is how she passed. She's showing me being in a car, driving a car, and that it's very bad weather, that she has the windshield wipers on, going very fast. She's trying to see. She's showing me gripping the steering wheel, and then I see headlights coming. I feel like her death was due to that experience. I'm hearing the name Joan, the name Jerry. I do not want to say that it's absolutely her name, but it can be a connector name or a name that's wanting to be acknowledged with her. Okay. I get a sense too, when I look at her age, because I am seeing some lines on the face, I feel like she was probably late 30s, could be late 40s, but I don't feel like she was much older than that, because I still see smooth skin. And I know some people have awesome skin, so I can't always go by a few lines either. So does this make sense to anyone with what I have currently provided? And if it does, you can raise your hand or you can post something in the chat. Okay, and no one else. Looking at the chat real quick. Okay, so this doesn't make sense. I don't have anybody jumping out. There's a few people with their hand raised, but I think, does that make sense to you, Cheryl?
Cheryl?
Okay, Cheryl?
Yes, it makes sense to me. I understand that.
And do the names make sense or just the person?
Both. The person is someone, and then one of the Joan is also another relative of mine.
Now, I do feel chills as I'm tuning into you. How does this make sense, please?
The female that passes in the car accident is my grandmother.
Uh-huh. And did she pass at that age, or her skin very smooth, something like that?
She was young when she passed. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was, I believe it was at nighttime too, with the headlights. I believe so. And then my Aunt Joan. Yeah.
Okay. And are they sisters then?
No, they're
Joan
not.
is on someone. Your grandmother would have just known her or known you to connect to you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I do have chills with this. So I do feel we want to build her energy a bit more. Can I get her first name, please? Your grandmother's name?
Cody.
Cody. Okay. And is that C-O-T-Y?
D as in dog.
C-O-D-Y. Okay. Yeah. Cody. That's actually my son's name too.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so right away when I'm asking her for more, she gave me that visual primarily as a means to connect with you, okay? She definitely is not in that space. It needed to be an identifier to relive that moment, okay? There's something too, because she's talking about you've either been making plans or plans are being made for you, but there's something new coming into your life, and there's something very exciting. She's giving me this sense too that she's been watching you all along. You know, sometimes we like to think of our loved ones in spirit as being guides for us or angels for us. And I just get this sense too about even her being ahead of her time, or being very, I almost get a sense about style about her in that regards too, perhaps even into fashion also. But I just feel that, because I'm seeing even Marilyn Monroe. I don't know if there's something about her grace, her beauty, looked perhaps like Marilyn, or there's something else that would make sense why she's showing me that image. But I want to acknowledge that also.
Thank you. Yeah.
And my sense is too, once again, anytime you have those memories of her coming in, it's important to take note of them, because that's absolutely one way that she is connecting with you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I'll leave you with that. Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
So let me see what else I have here, and then I'll go to the chat and see what else is going on. Now, also, I'm hearing the name Roger. I'm seeing a dark-haired man. I'm seeing his hair even being a bit wavy, a bit curly, but it feels short, feels close to his head. When I look at him too, his skin is tan. It could be tan from the sun, or it could be because of race, but I'm seeing tan skin. I get a sense of his energy being that he's very funny, because I just see a smile on his face, and I just get this thing that he's always trying to make people laugh. I get a sense too that he passed relatively young in regards to lifespan, but I'm feeling something about late 40s, perhaps early 50s. I'm getting a sense with him too, something going on with heart, could be high blood pressure, could be heart attack, but I'm also feeling pressure in the head, which makes me think of high blood pressure, stroke, something along that as well. Once again, the name Roger may not be his name. It may be simply a connector name to get us to the person. And I see Ann Rogers. This can also be a last name that we're working with also, just as an example. Okay. So as I'm giving that information, once again, does this resonate with anyone?
Raise your hand.
It doesn't resonate. My husband passed, but much later.
Okay. Does the description pass, or description of him make sense? Because I know that's important.
He didn't have curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
He had straight gray hair.
Okay. When he was younger, did he look that way by chance? Because what I'm seeing is definitely someone with dark, curly or wavy hair that's close to their head.
He had short, dark hair when he was younger.
Okay. Okay. I'm not feeling that I have his energy here. Anne, does this make sense with anyone else, please? Okay. I just want to recognize bringing him through. He's wanting to make his presence known. So I want to take note of that also. So let's go ahead and let me see if I can read any of these chats. There was a few people that had posted about loved ones that they wanted to connect with. And Anne, I see your message. It says your husband transitioned in January. Let's see what else is here. Katie, husband, transitioned to spirit also. So we have a few people. Also Brett, husband, transitioning. So we have several husbands here, don't we? Okay. Just scrolling through this for a moment. Okay. So let's go ahead and let me see what energy I can get here, because I want to make sure, and many times we may have several people that come through together, want to what we call piggyback and bring them through. So let's just see, okay? Okay, so I have another male that's wanting to step forward at this time. I'm getting there was something too. There could have been a back injury. This does not mean he passed from this, but what I'm seeing is some type of brace on him, as if he hurt his back, because I'm seeing it wrapped around him. I'm getting chills with this as I'm speaking. There's something too about he could have had surgery instead of an injury, or an injury then surgery. But I'm seeing him walking around doing even physical therapy. Now, as I'm saying this, before I get any more information, is there someone here then whose husband either had an injury or he would have had surgery specifically on his back and would have been wearing a black brace? Now, this does not mean how he passed. This is something just as a way to get him connected to who needs to connect with.
Anyone think? Two participants raised hand.
I think Anne, or did you raise your hand again with your husband for this?
My husband did have surgery, and he wore a back brace for a little while. It wasn't for his back though, but
I feel like this definitely is a way that we get him connected. Now, Katie, I see your hand up. Does that make sense with you?
Yes. Yes. My husband had a spinal, an infection in his spine and had to have surgery on his back.
Okay. And he would have had to wear that also. Okay. Now, is your husband in spirit now?
Mine? Yes.
Okay. So I got chills as you began talking to me. Now, what is your husband's first name, please?
Joe.
Joe. Okay. Let me build his energy here and see what we can get, because I knew that this was a way that we could get him connected to here. Now, also with Joe, was there something going on in his abdominal area? Did he have an additional infection or a cancerous condition or something going on in the abdominal area that this would make sense to?
Yes, he had ALS and it impacts
his bowels, his bladder, and such. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm also getting a sense, is there a connection to March with Joe? And this could be a birth month, a passing month. It could be something he's acknowledging for you, but I'm hearing definitely I need to acknowledge the month of March.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Was he a bigger guy? And this could mean big height-wise or big in size, a bit bulky. And this could be muscle also. And maybe at one point he was bigger, and then there was some degeneration with his passing. But he's just wanting me to take note of his size, or wanting you to recognize his size.
Yeah, he was a incredibly handsome man, beautiful build, and then by the time he passed, he was very frail and thin.
Okay, because he is giving me this sense of being a shell of what he once was, but he's also wanting you to see him as he is now, which is whole and restored and healthy. Now, I get this sense definitely of, enjoying being outdoors, looking good, and just everything about him really nice. So that's what he wants you to remember. He doesn't want you to remember when he was weak. Okay. He's giving me this sense too for you, Katie, how important it is for you continue to listen, continue to be strong, because as you recognize with his deterioration, it was hard to watch, it was hard to bear, but at the same time, you were also growing stronger in your power. There was something about going through that enabled you or prepared you to be able to go through anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He's also talking about you needing to finish. So I don't know if you put off something for him specifically, or you had talked about doing something. Sometimes this could be going back to school or finishing credentials or something like that. But he's giving me a sense about proceeding with it, that it wasn't a waste of time, or that you're not wasting time, but there's something about needing to do that. Does that make sense to you also?
I could see two things.
Okay.
I started to write a book.
Okay. I got chills with you saying that. So I know that's important to proceed with. And is there something too about a foundation?
And then so he could be talking about the ALS Foundation that I raise money for every year. Mm-hmm. And I'm also trying to start my own consulting business, and kind of tired from my what I've done for many years and do my thing. And he always pushed me to do that.
I got chills all over with that. So I feel like he's gently nudging you now, but I feel like those nudges are going to continue to get stronger. So there is something about, you'll know when the time feels right, but you're the type of person that needs to wrap things up, that you can't just make sudden rash decisions, that you have to make sure that all loose ends are tied up. And he's just giving me this sense about how imperative it is for you to begin taking action on it now. Okay. And he's just telling me that too. A lot of your time is devoted to others, or a lot of your time is allocated already. So there's something about you needing to allocate more time to yourself, or allocate more time to those things that you do love as well. Okay.
That makes a lot of sense. Yes.
Perfect. So Katie, I want to leave you with that. And he's going to continue to talk to you. Once again, take note of the memories that come in, and take note of the sensations that you feel, because that's going to be a prominent way that he will connect with you for sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Absolutely. And so for everyone, I want to remind you once again, our loved ones are absolutely around us. Sometimes they go off and do those things they love to do, but many times they're just a thought away. And literally think of the other side as being around us, an arm's length away. It's just vibrating at that higher frequency. Here on Earth, we have the physical body, and our bodies tend to be very dense. And what we want to recognize that they're free of that physical form. So their vibration is higher. Taking note once again of the signs that come through, the synchronicities, the memories that come into your awareness, taking notes of even the words that come into your mind. That's all ways that they talk to us.
Conducting an interview. Could you leave a message on my voicemail? I'll call you back in 15 minutes. Thank you.
And when we think too, much like Irene does with this time, with this podcast, grief, rebirth, it's important for us as humans to feel every emotion that we're feeling, but we don't want to be stuck in that space. Our loved ones absolutely want us to thrive. They want us to find the joy, to be the joy, and to live life for sure. So let's take just a few more questions, not readings, but questions in regards to anything that we want to look at before we wrap up. And Irene, is there anything that you want to focus on?
Well, is there anyone else in the chat portion is there any other question that you'd like perhaps to answer? I am going to encourage everyone, because you all now know how wonderful Shelly is, the good work that she does, that you can pursue this by getting on her website, ShellyR Wilson.com. And she's even going to use the coupon code Irene to get 10% off any service on her site. So some of you who did not get a message tonight can certainly see how wonderful she is, and can certainly get the information from her that you need. And she is giving a discount to all of you. And I'll repeat her, Shelly R Wilson, but it's Shelly a few times so that all of you will know how to get a hold of her. Shelly, is there anyone else in the chat who you would like to, any other questions you'd like to answer?
I'll pull this up real quick. Let's see who posted this. Diane posted, are they trying to help us for their benefit or for our benefit? So is my mom trying to ask me to correct a problem? I'm trying to scroll here. Correct a problem created in her life. Now, it could be for both. What we want to remember too is once they transition, they go through that life review process, and they get to experience their life and how their life affected those around. And sometimes, they're just wanting to give us messages to let us know they're near, to give us comfort. And sometimes there are things they're wanting us to convey to us to help us on our journey, especially if we're feeling stuck, if we're holding on to pain, if we've been hurt or wronged in some way. They definitely want us to thrive. Once again, they don't want us just to go through life existing. They want us to actually live, for sure. Let's see. Deb is asking about being a medical intuitive. If you're asking me if I'm a medical intuitive, well, that can be interesting. I do read energy. I can tell you what I'm picking up in parts of your body, but also knowing I'm not a medical doctor, so I definitely don't want to diagnose any type of illness. I can just tell you what I'm picking up in your body and where I'm picking it up at. So let's also, because working with the Oracle cards, I worked with the cards of empowerment, pulled a few cards for a few people, but I want to go ahead and just pull a card for everyone that chose to gather here tonight. And I know there will be some people also that may watch the Zoom recording, watch the podcast recording. So let's see what Spirit wants all of us to know. And the message coming through says, meditate, connect to the you within. And what we want to remember, sometimes for some people, meditation can be very challenging. And that's why I tell people, go ahead and reframe what you think meditation is, because it can be anything you need it to be. And it can be sitting quietly. It can be listening to a guided meditation. It can be just simply being in nature, or it can be doing some conscious breathing. And the thing is when we connect more deeply to ourselves, to our heart, to our spirit, when we clear our mind, those questions that we've been seeking inside on, we'll get the responses. We'll get the inspiration. It's a matter of listening and trusting what's flowing to us. Let's also pull a card here from the Clarity card deck. This is another deck I've created. And the message says, invest in you, practice self-care. So what we want to remember definitely is that we are energetic beings. We are mind, body, and spirit. So taking care of ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically is essential. And sometimes it is just pausing and being. And for those that need a little assistance, need a little support also, I talk a lot about practicing good energetic hygiene, because we are energetic beings. So grounding, centering, cutting energetic cords and clearing your aura, clearing your chakras, and so on. If you're guided to visit my website, ShellyRWilson.com, and go to the resources page, I actually have a PDF with tips to clear energy, a PDF to strengthen your chakras, a chakra clearing MP3 file, and I have created PDF guidebooks for both decks of these cards that you can access and work with as well.
That's great. So everyone can know that about Shelly also. Shelly, any other people you would like, any other messages, or shall we pull this all together tonight?
Yes, let's pull it together. I know that many of you are also wanting more messages, but it also, if you're feeling very desperate or very sad, that can be a hard energy to connect with also. But trust, once again, that your loved ones are intending to let you know that they're near, and also giving you messages, as I said before, with the clocks and the receipts, the triple digits, the repeating numbers and things like that, the messages that come through from the messengers, the butterflies, the dragonflies, the cardinals, and many other ways too. It's just a matter of us tuning in, recognizing the signs, and saying thank you.
And I have to say, Shelly, we are getting so many wonderful comments in the chat portion of our heartfelt many thanks, Shelly and Irene. Everyone is very appreciative, which is so wonderful for us too.
Yes.
For what we're doing. So I just know that I speak for everyone in thanking you, Shelly, so much, because this is wonderful and you're such a blessing. And for all of you now who want to connect with her, for her intuitive mediumship readings and so much more, Be sure to write this down. SHELLY Wilson, WILSON.com, and use the coupon code Irene to get 10% off any service on Shelly's site. And make sure you highlight January 19th when Shelly's terrific interview with me. We talk about so many talk about being awake. We talk about so many fascinating subjects. When her interview with me for Grief and Rebirth podcast will be released on social media and featured in your inboxes. Here's a reminder that you can see the show notes and all Grief and Rebirth podcast episodes on ireneweinberg.com, and make sure to follow us and like us on social at Irene S. Weinberg on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. This is from Suzanne Robson. I'm reading many blessings. Thank you so much. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you all. As I like to say, to be continued. Loving thanks to our wonderful gifted Shelly. Many blessings to each of the beautiful souls and hearts who you are. And bye for now.